up, guys? It's your girl, Tiffystyles, back at you again with another video. So, I've traveled to 17 countries, and this year will make 18 and more. Out of 17 of those countries, I traveled to Hong Kong and Japan by myself. So I know you're watching this video right now because you really want to travel alone, but you're scared, and I understand. You're probably scared because, you know, you're in fear that you'll be robbed or kidnapped, or you've heard about the black market, especially if you want to travel to Asia. You know, people are out here selling organs. You're probably just scared because you're not the best at traveling alone. You know, you're not good with directions. Or you're probably just scared because people have told you so many bad things that you're like, no, traveling alone is not for me. But honey, I'm about to give you travel alone tips that will comfort you. By the end of this video, you're gonna be so prepared and ready to travel all by yourself like a pro. So stick around, all right? So we're gonna just jump right into number one. The first thing that I do before I travel alone is I do my research. Yes, I do my research. When I say research, I mean Google becomes my best friend, and it should be yours too. So I research things like what is illegal in that particular country that I'm going to. Now, when we travel, we tend to do things that, you know, we think may be legal because it's legal in our country, but it could be illegal in that country that you're traveling to. So you have to be super careful of what you do, right? So researching that will really help you before you go out there and travel alone, do something wrong, and end up in jail. Another thing that I do is I Google actions that should not be done in that particular country. Things like, I'm gonna read, I have a list here. Things like, this is interesting, don't tip in Japan, right? Don't smile at strangers in Russia. Don't use your left hand in India. Don't eat everything on your plate in China. There are so many different actions that you should not do, because if you do it, you would offend other people. You're entering into someone else's culture, into someone else's country, so you have to be aware of things like that. Another thing that I research, which I think is very important, are prices. Listen, you need to research prices because you don't want to be gypped. For example, you could travel to a country and you want to get into a cab, and the cab guy tries to charge you like 50, I'm gonna use US dollars, 50 US dollars, when in all reality the ride is supposed to be $10. But if you researched beforehand, you would have known that the ride should only be $10 because all of that information is right there for you on Google. Number two, when you're traveling alone, you want to make sure that you act like you live there. Listen, when I traveled to Hong Kong and Japan alone and I was lost, I was panicking like crazy on the inside, but on the outside, I was just walking, you know, looking around, acting like I knew what I was doing. You don't want to act like you're a tourist, because people will watch you and they will say, oh, she's a tourist. She doesn't know what she's doing. I could plot on her. People are like that, and it's sad to say, but they really are. So you have to be careful. And if you want to ask someone for advice, it's fine. I know we tend to sometimes look at people and judge them. I think at that point in time, you need to really look at that person that you're about to ask and judge them beforehand. Yes, we can never really be accurate, but please make the best judgment that you can, because you're by yourself and you need to be careful who you talk to. It is important that you act like you know what you're doing. You act like you're from here, okay? You know the ropes. You know everything about this country. Number three, I think it is very important to look up what neighborhoods you should not go to. As tourists, we tend to roam around. We want to see everything. We want to go everywhere. But we don't really think about what neighborhoods we're going into that may not be safe for us to go to. So what I do is, when I travel, I tend to stay at hostels. So I like to ask the local at the front desk what neighborhoods I should not go to, and you will get great answers from them. They will be honest with you. They will tell you where to go or where you should stay away from. And it's important that you know this, because you don't want to find yourself roaming into a neighborhood that is very dangerous, right? And plus, you're by yourself, so you're already a target. I'm not trying to make you scared or anything. I'm just really trying to get you to be aware of what you're doing when you're traveling alone. Number 4, be mindful what you wear when you travel to a particular country. When I lived in Korea, I realized when I got there that the locals did not wear certain things like spaghetti strap shirts or tube tops that showed their neck and their collarbones. I mean, that's changing a lot, but it is within their culture to not show a lot of skin here. So you need to be careful of what you wear, because you don't want to offend anyone. You can get in serious trouble for that. So please be mindful of what you wear. So you should actually research this on Google and pack accordingly as well. Number 5, to keep your items safe, what I do is I have a fanny pack, and I'm not gonna go into depth about it because random people watch my videos, so I can't tell you my secret, but I could share a little something. So when you carry a fanny pack, you need to just make sure that it's a flat fanny pack where you can store it someplace on you that no one can even tell you have it on you. But make sure that you have your money, or if you're going to carry a camera or personal items that are very important to you, make sure that no one can see it. And if you take it out, don't take it out for a long period of time, because people are watching you. And it also depends on where you're traveling to. If you're traveling to a third world country, it's more than likely that you are being watched, especially if you're pulling out gadgets that might be very expensive in that country. Number 6, you need to make sure that you know the emergency number of that country that you're traveling to. Of course, America, 911. When I lived in Korea, it was 119. You cannot go to another country and not know how to contact someone if there is an emergency. Please research that before you travel alone. And number 7, before I travel alone, I create a list. This list consists of places I want to go and things that I want to do in that country. This is so important to do, so that when you go to that country, you already have things planned out. You don't want to go to that country and then you're in your hotel or hostel trying to figure out, all right, what's the best thing to do? Where should I go? What should I, you want to know this beforehand, so as you get there, you're on the go. All right, when you make a list, you can actually make a copy of your list and share it with your family members so that they can be aware of the things that you're going to do when you're traveling there. Number 8, for me, as I've stated before, when I travel alone, I really enjoy staying at hostels. So what I do is I do an extensive research on popular hostels to go to. I like to stay at hostels that are located in the city center area, because the city center area of many countries are where you see a lot of tourists, because that's where all the shopping centers are, all the restaurants and things of that nature. So you need to research where you want to go. Like for me, as I stated, the city center area, but maybe you want to go to an area that has museums or a specific landmark that you want to stay by. But just make sure that you research the hostel beforehand, or the hotel, and you want to make sure that this hotel has good reviews. Please look at the reviews. I went to a hotel with my friends when I traveled, and it was so bad that we literally, once we got there, we were like, nope, let's go. Turn right around. Didn't care if we weren't gonna get our money back or anything like that, but it was really disgusting. So yes, we didn't do the greatest research, and actually we were played by the photos that were shown. So please do your research, whether you go on that actual hotels or hostels websites, and then you need to go on TripAdvisor or Expedia. You need to look at photos from other sites. Number 10, I would say that you need to buy a SIM card. A lot of people, when they travel, they try to rely on Wi-Fi that they find in different areas. But if you're traveling alone, please get a SIM card. Whether you get a SIM card at the airport or you get a SIM card that they sell at the hotel or the hostel, it is important that you have communication at all times, because you are by yourself. You do not have anyone to rely on if there is any situation that occurs. So you need to always have service available to contact someone if anything happened. I get SIM cards all the time, and SIM cards are not that expensive. It all depends on where you travel to. Now, these are some travel tips that I hope really helped you. Of course, there are more, and maybe I'll make a part 2 to this video. I hope that this video made you feel more comfortable to travel alone, because you know what to do beforehand and what to do while you are there. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment below, for those of you who have traveled alone, what are some travel tips that you have to give my YouTubers that want to travel alone? What do you do before you travel alone or while you're there that makes you feel so comfortable? And remember to subscribe. Thank you so much for all of my new subscribers. I really appreciate you. And make sure that you share some of my content with your friends. Tell your friends about me. Tell your mommy, your grandmother, your auntie, your sister, your uncle, everybody. All right, so thanks for watching Tiffystyles Travel Thursdays. Have a wonderful and blessed day.